Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Salim Mubarak, Junior Consultant, National Skill Training Institute, Calicut. Okay, the last class we are discussed 10 question regarding the three-phase induction motor. So we are continuing that video. So today we have to go that another 10 question regarding the three-phase induction motor. So the next question, 11th question. So what is the 11th question? The rotor power output of a three-phase induction motor is 15 kilowatt and corresponding slip is 4%. The rotor copper loss will be. So this question regarding you have to find the slip, you have to find the copper loss. So rotor power in output it is given. It is a 15 kilowatt and the slip is given 4%. The option is 600 watts, 625 watts, 650 watts, and 620 watts. So the rotor output it is given 15 kilowatt. Okay, by equation. So last class we had discussed that this is a rotor output. It is a given. It is a 15 kilowatt. So it is a rotor output. Rotor loss. This is a rotor output. It is given as a 15 kilowatts. That is equal to 1 minus S into P2. That will be 15 kilowatts. So 1 minus S into rotor input. That is 1 minus S into P2. It is given as rotor output. It is given as a 15 kilowatt. The slip is given as 4%. So normally slip is represented in a percentage. So when you're converting to the value, that will be 0.04. So rotor output is equal to 1 minus S into P2. That will be 1 minus 0.04 into rotor input. That is a P2. Okay. So rotor output, what is the rotor output is given in question 15 kilowatt. So 15 kilowatt means 15,000 watt is equal to 0.96. So 1 minus 0.04 is equal to 0.96 into rotor input, that is P2. So rotor input we can find that 15,000 divided by 0.96 you will get the rotor input, that will be 15,625 watts. So from here it is a easily you can understand this is a input 15,625. It is the input and your output is 15,000. So what is the difference? So what is the difference is a 625. That will be loss. This commonly you can understand the input and output. The difference between input and output, that will be loss. That will be 625 watts. That is a rotor copper loss. Other you can say there is another equation you can already studied in from the power flow diagram. It is what is the equation for the rotor copper loss? S into P2. Okay, so it is another method that is not needed here. You can easily understand what is the copper loss. So it is a from that because S into P2, that is slip into rotor input. So 0.04, what is the slip? 0.04 into 15,625 is equal, you will get the 625 watts. There's two method you can use. So here you can easily understand what is the copper loss. So our answer is 625 watts, that is option B. Okay, then we can go to the next question. To reduce voltage drop problem in industry, the starting sequence of induction motor is. So you know that when in industry there is a different rating induction motor will be there. Okay, so high power, high 5 HP, 10 HP motor will be there, 3 HP motor will be there. Okay, so there is our option is there. One is small motor first and then large motor. Option B, large motor first and then small motor. C, all large and small motor at the same time. D is none of this. So you can know, you know that when the motor is starting, induction motor is starting, it will take large current. So large current means large motor will be, when the large motor is starting, it will take large current and all the voltage in that industry will be reduced. So when you're first you are when you are starting the small motor first, so it will be running in the condition, then you are going to start the large motor. So large motor will be take large starting current. So all the voltage level in the industry will be reduced, and it will be affect the small motor. So when you're opposite condition, what is when you're starting the large motor first, okay, so it will be take the large current. After that we are on the small motor. So small motor take the small current, so it will not affect the voltage that much in the previous condition. So large motor takes more starting current, so total voltage in industry will be reduced, so it will affect the small motor. When we are starting large motor first, then small motor take high starting current, but it will not sorry, it is a high starting current means it will take the current, but it will not make any disturbance in the large motor. So what will be our option? So the option will be the small large motor first and then small motor. That will be our answer. So to reduce the voltage drop problem in industry, the starting sequence of induction motor is this: large motor first and then small motor. Option B is the answer. The next question, that in a running condition, the rotor reactance of the three-phase induction motor is proportional to slip, supply voltage, rotor reactance, induced voltage. So the running condition, in the running condition, rotor reactance, that will be X2. So in the running condition, the frequency of rotor voltage is, that equation is a very familiar with one. Okay, I think you are studied that one. The rotor frequency, that will be Fr will be equal to S into slip into supply frequency. Okay, that is a standard equation. Fr will be equal to slip into F1. Hence the rotor reactance in the running condition is X2R. So what is the reactance equation? Normally X is equal to 2 pi omega 2 pi fl. Okay, that is omega L or 2 pi f into L. So that will be, when you're going to the rotor reactance, that is X2R equal to 2 pi into rotor frequency into rotor inductance. So Fr, what is the Fr? Fr is equal to S into F. So you can substitute that one, 2 pi into S into F1 into L2. So you can take S in outside. So S into 2 pi F1 L2. So here 2 is a constant, pi is a constant, supply frequency is a constant, inductance is a constant. So it will be X2R is proportional to S into X2. So it will be X2. Okay, that will be in the reactance in the rotor, that is a constant, that will be X2. This term will be become as a X2. Okay, in the starting condition. So here we are conditioning X2 are the rotor is in the running condition X2R. It will be 2 pi into Fr into L2, 2 pi S into F1 into L2. So S is we are taking the outside. So 2 pi into F1 into L2. It is the normal condition. So starting condition, what is the reactance? That will be X into X2. So running condition X2R is equal to S into X2. So X2R is directly proportional to the slip. So when the slip is increasing, the rotor reactance will be increasing. So our, what is our question? In running condition, rotor reactance is directly proportional to, this proportional means directly proportional to the slip. That is our answer. The rotor reactance is equal to SS2. It is means that it is directly proportional to the slip. So that is the next question. Speed of induction motor increases with increase the load, remain constant with the load, remain constant with the with all condition. Okay, with the load. Okay, decrease too much with the increase of load, decrease slightly with increasing load. So normally you can say the induction motor is not a constant speed motor. So its speed will be very slightly. In practical condition, the speed of the induction motor very slightly. So normally we need a constant speed motor. We are using the DC shunt motor. So when you're going to the AC motor, we are normally using induction motor, but this is induction motor speed will be decreases slightly. So when the load is when the load is increasing, the speed decreases very slightly in practical condition. So our equation is there, decreases slightly with increasing the load. That will be our answer. So increase, though not, it is not practical, it is not a, so it is not a DC shunt motor. It's not constant. It will be changed and decreases too much. That is not possible. It's only slightly with increasing the load. So actually answer is option D. The next question, if the mechanical load of a three-phase induction motor is increased from no load to full load, the the power of the motor will be increase, decrease, become unity, remain the same. So it is our question is the power factor. So our question is our power factor of the motor will increase, decrease, become unity, remain. There's one word is missing. So if the mechanical load of a three-phase induction motor increases from no load to full load, the power factor of the motor will increase, decrease, become unity, remains same. So we can go to the discussion part. The power factor. So you know that what is a power factor? It is a cos phi. What is a cos phi? It is what is a phi? Phi is angle between the voltage and current. So in the power factor at here is a explanation. The power factor at no load is low because magnetizing component of input current is large part of total current. So is a power factor means the power required. Normally the magnetization current, the power factor will be depends on the magnetization current. So magnetization current, what is the magnetization current? So current used for producing the magnet, okay, magnetize or magnetic field. So when you any motor, there is a magnetic field is needed. So there is a, to produce that magnetic field, one current is needed. That current is known as a magnetization current. It will be constant. Okay, so you have to magnetize large area, you need large magnetizing current. You need smaller area, you need only small magnetizing current. So when the load is of the motor increased, the in-phase current supplied to the motor increases, but the magnetizing component current, so magnetization current of a particular motor will be same. So when the load is increased, what will happen? The current will be, the motor current will be increased. So magnetization current will be constant, motor current will be increased. This means the resultant line current is more nearly in phase with the voltage. So resultant current and the voltage will be in most nearly in phase, and the power factor is improved when the motor is loaded. So when the motor is loaded, what will happen? The resultant line current is nearly with become a phase with the voltage, okay, compared with the unloaded motor. Okay, so when the motor is loaded, what will happen? It will take the current. That current will be almost phase with the voltage. Okay, in the unloaded condition, that only the magnetization current. Magnetization current, it will be not in phase with the voltage. It is a lag with the voltage. So it will be, angle will be very high. So phi will be very high, and the cos phi will be very low. Cos phi means power factor will be low. So when you are loading, that will be in, so the total current, magnetization current plus the load current will be more nearly phase with the voltage. So the angle will be decreased, the cos phi will be increased, then power factor will be increased. So you can see that the power factor motor will be, our option is option A, increase of the if the, so the finally the one thing is that when the motor load is increasing, what will happen? The power factor will be increase. So the next question, the rotor copper loss of a three-phase induction motor is directly proportional to, one is load current, option B slip, input of, option C input of the rotor, option D output of the rotor. Okay, so rotor copper loss, you already studied. What is the rotor copper loss? Slip in the rotor input, that you are already studied in the previous slide. That is a slip into rotor input. Okay, though that I am saying that this is an important important in the induction motor chapter, the power flow diagram. So is S into P2. Okay, so our question is that the rotor copper loss is directly proportional to the slip. Okay, so answer option B. So the next question, the number of slip ring in squirrel cage induction motor is 3204. So it is a simply, what is the number? In the slip ring induction motor, there is only then is a squirrel cage induction motor. In squirrel cage induction motor parts you can see in the figure. There is a no slip ring will be there here. Okay. In the slip ring induction motor, there is a 3 slip ring will be there in order to connect the external resistance to the motor. Okay, squirrel cage induction motor, there is a no slip ring will be there. Okay, there is a no slip ring will be there. Slip ring induction motor, 3 slip ring will be there to connect the external resistance. So our answer is option C, 0. There is a no slip ring in the squirrel cage induction motor. If the air gap of the induction motor is increased, the power factor will be decreased, the magnetising current will be decreased, magnetising current will be remain same, none of this. So it is an already we discussed the last slide. So what is the if the air gap is increased, so means the gap between stator and rotor is increased. So when you are giving the one supply to the stator will take one current that will be known as magnetization current to magnetize, to produce a magnetic field in the air gap. If the air gap is large, what will happen? To the magnetization, the current required to magnetize that air gap is needed more. So if the magnetizing current is more, what will happen? The power factor will be low. That already we discussed. The magnetizing current is more, the power factor will be decreased, means the magnetizing current and the voltage is all the magnetizing current is lagging with the voltage. So the angle between the voltage and the current will be increased. So power factor, the phi will be increased, the power factor will be cos phi will be decreased. Okay, so the air gap is increased. So we can go to the explanation. In an induction motor, if air gap is increases, then the power factor of motor gets decreases because the motor draws more magnetization current. Means the air gap is increased, there is a need more current to magnetize that air gap. So the magnetizing current will be increased, which lags the voltage by an more angle. So voltage and current angle will be more, will become more. If the angle between the voltage and current is more, that will be phi is more, the cos phi will be decreased. The power factor means cos phi, that will be decrease. So answer will be option A, the power factor will decrease. And next question, in a 3-phase induction motor, maximum torque occur when slip S is equal to, okay, so when the slip is S is equal to R2 by X2, the torque will be maximum, and this slip is called the maximum slip SM. So the practically there is a one derivation is there. I'm not going to that derivation. You have to understand when slip, the what is the slip value become R2 by X2. There is a one condition, rotor resistance divided by rotor reactance. You will get the one value. That will value become as value of the slip. What will happen? The torque will be maximum. Okay, and the slip, that time the slip is called the maximum slip, and it is defined as a ratio of rotor resistance to the rotor reactance. So when you need the maximum torque at starting time, you have to arrange R2 by X2, that will be equal to the value of the slip. Okay, at starting time S is equal to 1, so maximum start torque occur when the rotor resistance equal to the rotor reactance. So in another point is there, so when you're making R2 and X2 both are same, so when you're making R2 X2 you can vary, R2 you can vary, so you can make R2 by X2 equal to 1 or R2 became X2. That condition you will get the maximum torque. That is a derivation will be, I'm not going to the derivation, but the when the slip is, so here is the question, in a 3-phase induction motor, maximum torque occur when S is equal to R2 by X2. S is equal to R2 by X2. When the starting time S is equal to, in the starting time S is equal to 1. So when you need the start maximum torque at starting time, you have to arrange R2 equal to X2. There is another part. So it is additional topic is there, this one. Okay. So in this section, the last question is there. During no load test of 3-phase induction motor draws power for core loss and copper loss, for copper loss and rotation loss, for core loss and windage friction loss, and then only for very small copper loss. So there is a mainly two important test on three-phase induction motor is there. Okay, so one is no load test, other one is the blocked rotor test. So no load test gives the information regarding no load loss. So what is a no load loss? I am not going to that explanation. So you are already studied the topic, that is the losses, and the test on a three-phase induction motor is an important one. So you have to revise this one. The no load loss is such as core loss, friction loss, and windage loss. That will be no load loss. So it is not depends on the load. So when the load is low or when load is high, that is not depend. There is a core loss, friction loss, windage loss are the constant for the motor. Okay. The rotor copper loss at no load is very small, less than the value. So copper loss means it is I square R loss. Okay. Rotor copper loss means I square R loss. The no load condition I is a very small. So we are neglecting the rotor copper loss in the running condition. Sorry, in the no load condition. Okay, so when you're in another 2 point is that here we are in no load test, we are applying the rated voltage. You know that the no load test, we are applying the rated voltage in the stator, and the rotor will be in the open. There is a no arrangement in the rotor. So we are applying the rated voltage. Blocked rotor test for finding the copper. So blocked rotor test we are using find the we are used to find the copper loss. So we are what we are doing, the rotor will be we are blocked, rotor will be blocked, okay, by pulley another arrangement we are blocked, and the stator we are giving the rated current. So when you are giving the rated current, so what is the copper loss? I square R loss. So maximum current is a 10 ampere motor, you are applying the 10 ampere, that will be I square R will be, you will get the copper loss. Okay, when you are applying the rated current, that voltage will be very low. Okay, so when you are giving the small voltage, you get the rated current because the rotor will be blocked condition. Okay, shorted condition. Okay, so this is a last question. So there is another 30 question is remaining in this section. So okay, so I am not going to the another 10 questions. So you have to uh, we can discuss the another 10 questions in the next section. Thank you.